What up, Crusty Nation, Crusty Crew, Tomato, fill-in fellas. Oh, I'm too bored of doing that. I need a new intro. Hello, YouTube. It's my birthday today. Yeah! Today I'll be doing a commentary on Underground Ernie Season 2, Episode 2. Vance usually does this. He probably will, but he just ain't bothered. I'll be doing my own commentary on Episode 2. If you want me to do on Episode 1, then just ask and I can explain some more about it. Because there is a lot of stuff I need to explain about in Episode 2. So, and goofs and stuff. So let's go.
Underground Ernie, we know we're gonna get there.
Actually, if I could just say,
without a worry
I kind of
or a
struggled
care,
doing
really.
the vocals for the intro.
I'm proud to be of service. No mind
Like
the
here,
gap
listen.
and don't be nervous.
I didn't mean to do that.
Victoria and Bakerloo, Hammersmith and City 2, with Jubilee and Circle Line, with their new friend Euston, things will go fine. Just ask Ernie. Underground Ernie. Just ask Ernie. Underground Ernie. The importance.
Now here, I was actually really lazy. Well, not really, because there's literally no videos or anybody who actually made a clean version of the intro, where it's like not the episode title and who is written by. So if actually somebody is able to do that and actually make it for me, then then that'll be great, and I can use that for episode 3. Because then we've got the overlapping text. Originally, I was going to think of like doing a bar over the original text and then put the actual episode title and who's written by over it, but I was just too lazy, to be honest.
The importance of being Ernie.
Okay, so now we're at the sheds, aka like the new shed set, because the original on the windowsill, I could not be bothered to keep changing a beam series set backwards and forwards. And this one has more space, and it looks bigger. Also, in that shed there, that Thomas is actually the original model of Big Time Tommy. Oh, and not to mention, literally, I was going to put a song here, but like, a bit of music, but I couldn't think of anything, so, yeah. Actually, one more thing. Later in the episode, you do see the underground train pass by the sheds. This is because the yard here, it's situated between one line. It sits in like one cubicle block of like the underground line, and then there's one line that goes. How do I kind of explain it? So there's a track which is the main line on the left next to the shed, like example where Hammersmith goes on. And like there's a bunch of points in the centre of the yard for either going to the works or the shed or the main line or whatever. And beside like the big old actual shed where the underground trains live, there's a what is there? There's like a tunnel, pretty much, just that goes along. Also, to explain about Circle, the reason she doesn't have her coach is because, like, one, I made it to Euston, like, I needed Euston for the series. Honestly, I could have, like, the series could have been way different for Circle, but having the Backman Circle coach in the shed to replicate her coach being fixed because of it being a squashed from like a landslide in their old shed. What else? I don't know. No, I do know. I just don't know what I'm trying to talk about. Pretty much in the next episode, you'll see what job she does instead.
Well, everybody, it's been over a decade since we ran these rails. Today's
Honestly, I wouldn't have included Thomas' music here, but this was the only theme I could think that would work, and the rest of it actually kind of synced up well with the rest of the episode.
important day for the International Underground Railway. I hope we all do fine. Oh, Victoria, you...
Oh, just to mention, if you see those silver dots on the front of their faces, and if on the back of the coaches, those are going to be lights. I realised after ages that the underground trains do not have lights, and they're meant to if they're going into tunnels and stuff. So I just dabbed a bit of silver on there, and there's some lights, pretty much. It kind of looks a bit scary on Victoria, because like she's a humanoid face, and she's got like lights just growing out the side of her face. But just don't think of it that way. Honestly, in my opinion, I think if they... Honestly, I think, like... I wonder... I actually kind of know why they wouldn't have painted... No, why they wouldn't have done Victoria's face in red, because one, that kind of looks strange, probably, or either it'll be a bit offensive for just... Like, it's meant to be the Queen of England, and then, like... It's the Queen of England's trained sonar and stuff, and, like, she's got... a red face and stuff, and it doesn't really make any sense, and it kind of looks scary. But honestly, the fleshy face, I'm used to that. That's fine.
Windows XP running clapback away. The Underground isn't international anymore. That means Article 13 doesn't mean anything to England.
Honestly, I feel like this part was a bit cringy. I was trying to find some filler for the actual episode 1. Because Jubilee's been all high-tech and actually up-to-date and stuff. Article 13. This was like the week when I was getting really mad about Article 13 and stuff.
Article 13, Jubilee. This is how you eat a Big Mac, nigga.
Now this part was funny because I thought about it very hard. When Van sent me this on that meme on Instagram ages ago, and I was thinking, I'll include that in Underground Only Season 2! And just for like a funny thing, I don't know why. It was better in my head, but of course, the video there is meant to be like, kind of look like a fort, but it's just like a fucking video screenshot thing. It's meant to be cropped, but I just don't know how to crop videos with Power Director. I don't think you can.
Jubilee, look out, there's Sam 7.
Where?
Now that was a problem there. I did actually record the bit where he does crash into the coach, but for some reason my camera didn't pick it up, and it just did that instead. And I could be bothered to set up just that set and just re-record the crash. But so instead, I just got onto Discord. Some of you might have seen if you're on the Discord server, and I got the bot commands, and then like I just got the circle tool for the goddamn other engines, and yeah. You see, someone's actually... Trackside was actually like really intelligent and noticed I put in the fucking you being gnomed thing in the background. Honestly, if I was to link that with one character, I'd say that would that would have just been Bakerloo or something. Just being a dumbass.
Oh my god, Jubilee.
Oh, Jubilee, you skinhead.
Now there was a problem here when like Leo was doing this part. I was expecting him to say like skinhead instead of just skinhead, like really slowly. But I think he did do it properly. I just couldn't be bothered to edit it in, but that's okay.
Right, now what is...
As you could see, I edited like the Millie figure in because I literally had not made a 00 Millie yet, and I still haven't, and I need to get to that soon. But I'll probably just be using a cropped edited picture instead for the time being. Also, all those inspectors were just randomly picked figures, along with O'Hare with the 2 suitcases being the row inspectors. They were randomly picked passengers from Borough Station.
with the crowd. Jubilee, what are you doing in the goods shed with Circle's coach?
The reason Mr. Rails is lying on the floor is because, like, what I was trying to replicate was that, like, he was like fixing the bow. He was like trying to fix the actual coach on a ladder, and then Jubilee smashed into him, and then he fell off the ladder, but didn't actually hurt himself. He just like landed on the floor. It's like, ow, fuck, and shit.
And I should have an explanation immediately.
At this point, there was meant to be a scene where he gets up and does talk to Jubilee, but I just didn't do that.
Good one. I was trying to repair Circle's destroyed coach, but now you've made all flat pack like it came from an IKEA shop. Hello, trains. As you can see, the London Transport Railway inspectors...
Yeah,
have come
SpongeBob
along to
music.
see
I
how
literally could not find anything else to
work
put here,
to do
and this
all
kind of did
safety
work.
before the line can open. I and Ernie would like you all to do your best and stay safe.
This part was maybe cropped. Mr. Rails there, when I realised he was in the picture, I was going to crop him out, but like, for some reason, I forgot. I did do it, but then it just unset himself.
Each of you have an inspector on board, and there will be test passengers to come aboard at your stations. And please don't be like Jubilee right now.
Now, sound effects that, Chris, pretty much, like,
Don't go
filtered
just
out.
yet, Circle. You have an
Got all for
important
me,
job
and
today.
they all work.
An important job? For me? Yes. The BBC needs some footage of the trains on their trial runs for an important news report today. They need to collect a film crew at the main station at King...
Oh, while I mention it, I was thinking of giving the actual shed layout a track plan, but I do not have like enough Tomy track with me in the house. Although I do have a lot in the garage, or I could get some wooden track instead, but that'll be taking more time to set up. If I do think about it, I might try and make a track plan for it instead, but then how's the underground train and other stuff in the background gonna run? And it will make the track more levitated, and it will just look a bit awkward.
King's Cross, along with an important coach for you to take.
Now here, I did crop just Circle there in Power Director, but it again it unset himself. So it will do the same thing when I included Circle again. And there's maybe two pictures actually. One with the brake van, which was a shot that I took from earlier in the episode, later in the episode even. And there was maybe the coach, but I forgot to take a picture of that. Or I just deleted it.
It is a flatbed truck with railing and seats for the director. Cameraman.
Now here I struggled because like I was thinking, hold on, how am I gonna make this? But then I realised I could just film this whole shot on the Tomy stuff and just grab whatever I could find in my Tomy box, and then that's what I formed.
And others. This footage is so important to take as some will be used in the London Underground television adverts. Groovy. Where do I collect the wagon? In the goods shed. Isn't that right, Mr. Rails? I do not get paid enough to work on this backwards railway. Maybe I should get my son to help someday.
And his son will appear probably in episode 3, once I make a model of him.
So is everybody doing...
This stock footage, it was meant to be like way longer, with instead of Dr. Hart talking, just pretend like he's like a test passenger and stuff. I would have actually done like, this was the only footage I could think, stock footage I could think that would work as well. I was gonna actually like properly film this, like as you could see with the inspector part, but I just couldn't be bothered.
Fine? Oh yes, Victoria, wonderful job! Horrible.
Oh, I forgot to mention, Ernie 1 is not even in the series anymore. Like, that got scrapped instantly. That part was maybe the inspector ticking off a list on his notepad or something. But I just had some like instructions for an Airfix kit that I usually scribble on if my pens don't work. And yeah. I don't know why, but the wheel screech for Jubilee actually kind of worked well.
Crap, I think that was too fast. You think? This type of speed is not suitable for the underground?
I was trying to go for like a clenched face, like a kind of cringing face, but like also like a kind of like, oh shit, oops type of face. But like that just didn't work, and I just couldn't draw it, so I just went with that.
I'll have to write you up. What a rude man.
Wow, it is fun sitting around.
After a while, I actually completely forgot that I needed to film the Hammersmith and City scenes at the fun fair, and I did not have any stock footage with me that I recorded, and I couldn't, and I just, it would take even longer to go along and just try and find it, and I wanted to get it all complete on that day, so I did, and yeah. I actually did take a city picture in this same shot of Hammersmith, but for some reason, as soon as I put it into Pad Director, it did work for like the first 5 minutes, and then afterwards, when I tried to add it again for another scene after the credits, it just completely broke and just didn't work. Because for some reason, it just didn't work in my gallery. It just disappeared. I don't know what happened. Well, it was there, but it just wouldn't function anymore.
Doing nothing but waiting for passengers. This is boring. I want to go on the loop-de-loop. But Hammersmith, the loop is unstable and still needs to be repaired. Besides, we can't take anyone on it. It violates the health and safety of the underground.
I'm sorry if my camera keeps glitching like that. It's always like that for some reason. This scene I liked. There was maybe music here, but I got a bit of a theme. I could have actually put Rusty's travelling theme or something. Oh my god, old Mother Rye. And there's like half of my surviving Tony stuff in the background. Like trucks and parts of other engines and shit.
Alright, Circle, it seems like you've come here to collect
There's some of the chuggers in the background,
camera
too.
crew train. And it's right over here in the siding. Just go get yourself turned around on the turntable, and then we can get it all sorted.
Now, I was a cool kid back then. When I had the fucking the flip-face Thomas shed set, whatever it's called, I was a cool kid, and I got the turntable, I took it apart, and I took out that clicking system that really didn't make the turntable spin good enough. Although I lost, like, the nub that goes onto the wheel that you can wheel the turntable around on. So, if you watch this... Honestly, the crane sound effect worked really well with the turntable, I don't know why. Okay, so with that sound effect there, it was meant to replicate that the turntable completely broke or something. Like the bump sound effect, that was like, I don't know, it just stopped suddenly. And then the crash was maybe like, I think a piece fell off like something like a gear or something fell off the turntable. So then the two workers had to come along and like fix it.
Don't worry, Circle, I'm coming. Come on, boy, let's go and help Circle on the turntable. She seems a bit stuck.
Now there, I kind of like stopped. When I said like stuck, I just went stuck and shit. I don't know what happened. My voice just went funny. Fun fact, actually, this area was going to be completely different to what it looks like now. In the original, what I was imagining was like a big underground station with lots of underground trains, and like the turntables on the left. There was a big dialogue that was meant to be like that somebody else was meant to like read out, but nobody did, I don't think. So I just didn't bother, and I just didn't bother with doing that. So I completely changed it, and the set. Well, this was before anyone actually. I thought someone would read the actual part of the worker there. So I had to completely make it up and change it this time, but the original is still there, and I probably will read it out if anyone wants to. And the set was completely changed to like an old station that has a goods yard with lines and lines of trucks that are still meant to be like scrap. It's kind of like a goods yard, scrap yard type of thing. I don't know. There's my old Track Master 2 Scares game. That coach is actually Spencer's coach that I repainted several times before. A guard twist was going to go there, but I couldn't find one. Now, this scene, while had Wide World from Sam 7 over it actually worked really well.
It's good for me, 'cause all the little fishes in the deep blue sea.
I was actually going to put a bra sound effect over like the fucking kissing noises, but it just worked so well.
Just me and you. No, I can think of anything I'd rather do. See the whole wide world. Just me and you. Yeah, me and you.
See how much I struggled with the underground train going over the track.
It's good for me, 'cause all the little fishes in the deep blue sea.
And you could see in the background that's like the first
What's
time
wrong,
Big Tom
Victoria?
Tommy was made.
Oh, Ernie, do you think this
It's maybe
is
like a
bad
statue for like a
underground line?
London art
What?
exhibition.
The underground is just how I wanted it. Besides, good or not, the fact that you trains are back makes it all
Also, the
better.
stations will be
My
a bit
life
more
is
busy,
incomplete
actually.
without you all. Oh, thank you, Ernie. I was just all riled up about what Mr. Inspector said about our underground. Don't mind that, Inspector. This underground is great, and I'll show you trains that. Once Circle is done in for the BBC, the UK will see how great the underground really is. I hope so.
I liked using the Ernie trains because they really worked so well.
Victoria, are you okay? We all know you care about the underground.
And we saw how ahead you were when the inspector
This
was
part was
meeting
so
you.
difficult because like,
Don't
I
worry,
realised there was
everyone. I
Hammersmith and
spoke to
City parts I
Ernie,
need to
and
edit
I am
in, and I
confident
just randomly
in the
sat there
underground
and,
now.
like when Vance
That's good.
recorded that audio.
I wish I could say
So I was
sorry
so
to
lost.
Circle for messing up her coach.
She's with Mr. Rails getting a repaint, since she spent all day helping out the camera crew at BBC film The Underground.
Don't worry, Jubilee. I predict everything will be alright. And Circle will find use for herself again.
How do you
Can I
know
just
that,
say Leo is
Baker?
like the best Bakerloo voice actor ever?
Elementary, my dear Jubilee.
Anyways, I'm sorry to say that me and Hammersmith will not be at the live broadcasting tomorrow for BBC's Underground report. Indeed, early in the morning we have to go around Circle's line. Monday is rush hour, and we need to get the people to where they need to be.
Okay then. Best of luck to you.
I think when I don't know if it was Vance or whoever added it in, but I'm gonna guess that was for either the underground, like the main underground, needed some more trains because it was very busy, and such. Say Hammersmith and City volunteered, and then they joined in to help.
Good night, everyone.
Also, can I just say, the underground trains and the main underground are different gauges, so that's why they don't go on each other's lines and stuff. What am I talking about? No. Like, example, Victoria can't go on the main underground because that is a different gauge to her. She's kind of more bigger, like, by a few millimeters.
Good night, Victoria.
Good night, Victoria.
Good night, Victoria.
Can I just say the Famous Engines theme really worked well here? Like, this was exactly what I thought when I was filming this scene. This theme worked so well. Also, the stations may be more packed, but I did not have any spare figures to put along, so just pretend there's like more people there. Also, this is maybe like the new the main underground station, the big one. Because in my canon, the original one got completely trashed and, like, flooded, pretty much. So it is impossible to go in to repair that. So they left it abandoned instead. And they decided to use this countryside, like this other station that was not being used that well from, like, the 1980s and stuff. No, like, 1960s or something. It was, like, new back then. It's kind of a steam era station, but the underground trains were still there too.
Well, guys, on our new fancy computer screen, Mr. L's hooked up for us. We can all watch the BBC.
I'm sorry, I kind of struggled what I was actually saying and how the tone I was trying to give off when I was reading that. I completely mucked it up.
Report. I am so excited, and I see the passengers are too.
Yes, of course, this TV runs on a flywheel. It's running like gears and stuff, but I don't know. It's like a generator that gives electric current to the TV. This is my old Samsung phone.
Okay, everyone, it's starting. Hello there. I'm Ernie from...
I'll talk more about this advert, actually, because everyone was confused when I first uploaded it. Why the JPEG is like that is because when I downloaded it, it's always like that. I did download this previously when I was re-uploading a theme of some sort. So that's why it's all messy and stuff.
the London Underground, and I run my smaller part of the London Underground with my famous trains.
Yeah, I failed there. I was going to say trains, but then engines and then all got mixed up.
We have 6 different engines running on our line, ranging from the oldest to the youngest, like Victoria, Bakerloo, Jubilee, Circle, and our twins Hammersmith and City.
I said fucking Hammer.
We're located next to
And then I
every
just
underground
completely
station.
failed. This advert was a flop, and it just didn't
We hope
work.
to see you soon, and we'd love to travel with you.
I also completely forgot to include
you
the background
for
underground
taking the time to
train
see this advert,
footage in
and
here.
we hope to see you soon. Goodbye.
Also, that last audio bit was a complete flop as well. So, is this fucking intro? I said relay instead of rely. I forgot to spell rely, so I just did a fart, a wet fart, and then that happened. This is what it's like when you win an Oscar at
Rubbish!
the fucking...
You guys don't know a good underground line. It was in front of you.
Sam and Dan's theme really worked well for, like, the inspectors just complaining.
Well, guess what, you prat? It is right in front of us. We love the underground. Fuck you, Inspector. We love the underground.
This part really made me laugh because when I originally added it, it's just so funny.
Well done, everyone. Come on, you train.
And that was it. Now, if someone could make like a clean, like, no text version of the end credits, that'd be nice. Anyways, whatever.
It feels good to be on a different line. Any line, you mean?
The after credits scene was actually meant to be filmed by Vance. Oh, that's why the Hammersmith City scenes, where like they're at the fun fair and we're now on the new line, Vance was gonna film them, but like there was no time for him, so he just didn't bother. So I just did it myself. And here, I completely forgot about the script in that Hammersmith was going to crash into the shed. But I put in city instead, for some reason.
It's been years. If it's been years, then why do you still like those crummy blues? Oh my gosh.
This
10
will work
years
so
and
well.
You still won't shut up. The blues. The red. Whoa. Said some wacky ass nigga sound effect plays like.
Oh no, it's full
The
knocked
brush
out.
station shows up because the lines been filmed at brush station just like no other locations. Are you okay, City? Don't worry about me. You're the one in the shed.
No, he's not.
City? What? I don't think I'm alone. Sorry, what?
Hey, Houston! And that was it for episode 2, so, yeah, that's my commentary on it. Yeah. Bro, moment.